You're listening to episode 21 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast. Let It Go with RJ. Hey, Diz friends. Welcome to episode 21 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast. I am your host, June. So, D23 is just a few days away. And if you emerge victorious from the epic saga that was the reservation experience, congratulations. I was not one of the lucky ones, but I've had similar experiences like this in my cloth diapering days when they used to release exclusive prints. Yes, there is a whole lifestyle like that. And so I knew the odds were stacked against me with my slow AF Wi-Fi. So it is what it is. Nonetheless, I'm going to push through and make the best of things and going to have a good time regardless. So you will definitely see me on the show floor because that's about the only place I'm going to be allowed to be. So if you're going to be there, keep an eye out. I am excited about being in the midst of it, and if I don't get in anything, then catch me at the pool in the parks. This episode is very packed, so I am just gonna get right to it and introduce this week's guest. This week's guest is RJ. You have seen him on the Afros and Pixie Dust Instagram page where he did a takeover and showed us Star Wars Galaxy's Edge from his point of view, which was the best. He is from California City, California, and he is a Disneyland annual pass holder. He is a music artist, a Disney legacy, and a walking miracle. His story is one that is not to be missed. RJ has overcome so much and went through it all with a positive attitude, and I really hope that his testimony brightens your day today. Be sure to stay tuned after the end of this episode for a very special treat. And do not fast forward. Experience this whole episode from start to end so that you can appreciate the cherry on top even more. And without further ado, let's get into my conversation with RJ. Hello, RJ. Welcome to the show.
What's up, June? I am so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
It's long overdue. I want to say, first of all, thank you for taking over my stories. Was Batu. Batu? I got it right this time.
Yeah,
I
I say Batu. I don't know. All I know is it's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That's what I say.
Exactly. But thank you for doing that. And I enjoyed it so much. It was so great to see it through your eyes.
It was, you know what? It was so much fun. I appreciate you reaching out to me to do that. It's so funny because I got a lot of people hitting me up after that, just cracking up about my reaction. They're like, RJ, you were so like 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 a child, you know what I mean? So surprised. And I think it was great. I know that it opens up for the East Coast, so you'll go get to experience, or actually you'll be out here soon, right? You're out here for D23.
Yes, I will be down there for D23. Before you know it, I think this episode actually airs when I'm in California. So,
So we
um,
kicking it now.
yes, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I have nothing planned and I don't care. That's just the
No,
first.
I think that's good. I think that you need to come out here. I mean, it's good to plan, but it's also cool to keep it open because you never know like what adventure you'll run into. So I'm personally, I can't wait to see you. It's so funny listening to the show every week and talking to you on IG. I feel like I already know you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a little community that we have now. It's like I really consider you guys like all my brothers and my sisters and my cousins, and we just family. So I can't wait for us to be in the same room. You know what I mean? And really, really vibe off that. It's gonna be cool.
Yes, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I had to call House of Blues today just to make sure, like, listen, we coming through and I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want y'all causing no mess. I'm letting y'all know in advance and don't let it be something when we arrive. They're like, no, we got it. You can show up and it's good. So let the record reflect on September 24th. No, what day is this? July? July 24th. They said it was cool. So if you hear about
It's
any
gonna be so
issues,
fun. I can't wait. I can't wait.
yeah, yeah, no, it's gonna be a great, great situation. I'm so excited. But now let's talk about RJ.
Hey.
So let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. To be honest with you, I guess I'll start where I was born. I was born by the river. No, I'm just playing. Oh,
Yes.
it's gonna be fun. No, seriously. I was born in Linwood in California. I grew up in California City, which is in the desert. We and at that time, California City is big now, but it wasn't big back then. Back in the '80s. I'm an '80s baby, so
Yes.
back
What year?
then, '85.
Okay. Oh, yay! You my once removed. I'm 84.
Hey, see, I told you was my sister.
Yes.
Yes, I was born in the '80s, '85, and it's so funny. I used to I've been told by people, like some of my social media giant friends and things, you really shouldn't give people your name, but I mean not your name, your age. But the reason I do it, and I'm proud of my age, is because a lot of people don't see their 30s. You know what I mean? And we are blessed to be here, to be living, to be breathing. So I feel like every year that you're alive, you should celebrate that year. And don't be afraid to tell people, how old you are. Anyway, back to what I
Listen.
was saying. Y'all, born in
Mhm.
California City, moved to LA when I was 14. I am the second oldest of six. Through marriage, I now have 13 brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And yeah, we grew up in the church. Um, as by now, if you follow me, you know that I love to sing.
Of course.
Music is my thing. I'm telling you, my parents, they had us. You would have thought we were going to be the next Jacksons, the way that they raised us. I'm talking about rehearsals in the living room, singing all night, singing at church, singing in choir at school. Whenever there was some music or something going on, we was there singing. So yeah, music is my life. Um, like I said, grew up in the church, so I still rooted in God. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And I love Disney. I just, that's RJ. That's RJ in a nutshell.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a church baby too. I started in the Baptist church, went to the Pentecostal, I was a praise dancer. I did it all.
Okay, praise dancer.
Yeah.
I was, well, I don't really say was because I'm not too active on it, but I still am a worship leader. I'm a worship leader. I've got a couple of gospel CDs. I've toured with a lot of uh, gospel artists. Mary, back then it was Tone, and so yeah, we grew up in the church. The church is what we do. Praise is what I do. All that.
Yeah, yeah. My mama was not playing. There was no option but to go. But lots of great foundation there. And so, when did your love of Disney first start?
I promise you, I fell out of the womb at Disneyland. I say that my mama had to have me like on Pirates of the Caribbean. But for real, I mean, as long as I can remember, we have always been a Disney family. It actually really started with my grandparents. My grandfather and my grandmother, when they got married, he took her to several trips to celebrate their love. to Disneyland and then took her to Disney World. And, you know, when we were born, it was just kind of like, you know, the next step, you know, we just got inducted into it. So, I mean, I got pictures I can send you too of me being 2 years old, 1 years old, you know, at Disneyland. So for me, it was something I was born into. My grandmother loved the magic. She loved the music. She loved the stories, and it trickled on down. I mean, some of my earliest memories were, you know, watching Lady and the Tramp and, you know, all the old Disney classics, you know, growing up listening to my mom, you know, from the bathroom singing part of that world. You know, it's been Disney and Jesus since day one. So,
What a combo.
telling you, it's Disney and Jesus. So we, you know, we really didn't have too much of a choice, but I've come to love both extremely. Yeah.
Awesome. So, do you have a favorite Disney movie or show?
I knew you were gonna ask this question, and I was trying to figure out like how can I answer this question? And the reason I say that is because what I love the most about Disney is their soundtrack. Me loving music, I love music. And so I think that's what attracts me to Disney the most. When you say, do I have a favorite movie? I have to really think about the music that goes along with a lot of these Disney classics and these movies that, you know, we've come to know and love. And oh gosh, I mean, if I really, 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 oh Lord Jesus, I really have to see, this is hard. I'm not gonna lie, because I have like my classic, one I like, I have like my Pixar, one I like, you know what I mean?
All right, give me a top
Um,
three. Give me a top three.
okay, thank you. You making this way easy. My top three, well, in no specific order, I would say Goofy movie. And that's because to be honest with you, the storyline is great. It's really funny. To me, it was one of the first times we saw Disney relating to our generation. You know how we grew up in the 90s? You
Yeah.
know, Max rocking a hoodie, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it seemed very familiar for the times. And I just love the spin on that. And Powerline, I am a Powerline fan. In the 90s, you know, you couldn't tell me Tevin Campbell wasn't the business. Like, I don't know if you watched The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but you remember that episode where
Yes.
Tevin Campbell came on
We got to
and
say no more. I was watching that the other day.
man, that's one of my favorite Fresh Prince of Bel Air episodes. I was like, man, so to see Powerline, who was this, you know, black character who was singing and dancing. I mean, I could not get enough. All all you would hear at my house around the clock is when we listen to each other's hearts, I will never be far apart. Because I'm just, yeah, I'm obsessed. So there's that one. um, Toy Story. I love Toy Story because to me, Toy Story is such a good story about friendship and about how friendships are tried. And me, I consider myself to be a person who really, 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 really loves people. I'm a people person. I feel like, you know, a true people person can find some way to connect with everybody, no matter what their race is, no matter what their sexual orientation is, no matter what religion they are. I feel like if we look deep, a true people person can find how to relate to anybody. And you look at all these toys, you know, they you know, are all different, you know what I mean? Especially the two main characters in that movie, Woody and Buzz, you know, and everything that they had to overcome, you know, to get past jealousy and, you know, get and delusion. You know, Buzz was just delusional. Um,
Yeah.
I can be sometimes, so I'm not gonna lie, I can be a little naive. Y'all pray for me. But I love Toy Story. I just love the story. I love Buzz Lightyear. I love that it centers around friendship, and it's real cool. Yeah, it's real cool. And okay, if I have to pick one more, my last one would be Frozen. And I know that is very controversial to say.
Why do you say that?
Well, when I bring that up to people, people are like, Frozen? What about the Princess and the Frog? What about Black Panther? What kind of her? And I'm all about that. I love the Princess and the Frog. Just wish she was a princess longer than she was a frog. And I'm all about Wakanda, but that's Marvel. But when it comes to like these Disney movies that we're talking specifically, the Disney brand, a lot of when I brought it up in the past, a lot of people are like, Frozen is more so this generation and more so this, and Disney just overdoes it. It's Frozen the ride, Frozen the dessert party, Frozen this, Frozen that. Oh, I'm sick of it. But for me, Frozen will always be a game changer in my life and how I saw myself moving forward. And I'll just leave it at that because I know you're gonna ask me a question about my favorite characters, and then we can expound on that. But
Well, then let's move on. So why is that? Keep going. Let's go.
uh, so one of the questions that you ask all the time is, who's your favorite character? And if you would have asked me who my favorite character was years ago, maybe 10 years ago, um, I would have said Buzz Lightyear because I identify with how naive he can be, but also how he's always down to help a friend. Like whenever something goes wrong, Buzz just snaps into action. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And his faith, like the fact that he just knew he could fly. You know what I mean? Did, could nobody tell him his faith and the way that he just goes and makes it happen? Um, is who I try to be. You know what I mean? And so if you would have asked me that question 10 years ago, I would have said Buzz Lightyear all the way. But then we got Frozen, and it just from the moment I saw that movie in the theater, it completely shifted and changed my whole mindset on on my favorite Disney character. All of a sudden, it just became Elsa. Like it was Elsa. I knew it was her. Um, and and my reason why is it has to do with and we about to get a little deep for a second, but don't worry, we're gonna get lighthearted back in a minute.
That's
Um,
okay.
the reason why Elsa is my favorite character because I felt like I was her for most of my life. Now, like I told you at the beginning of our conversation, um, I grew up in church. Church boy. I mean, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. I felt like church was always adding services because they just didn't think we could be saved enough. So, Wednesday night, I mean, you name it, I was there over the
Mm.
praise team. I got ordained as a minister. I could legally marry people. I could bury people. Went to seminary school, like the whole nine. I was on track to becoming a pastor. You know what I mean? To becoming a minister. But
Mhm.
the entire time that all of this was happening, I had this huge secret, and it was ripping me apart and tearing me apart inside. And, the secret was that I was gay. You know, I knew it. I've known it since I was like 8 years old. It's something that's always been there. But, you know, being grown, coming up in Pentecostal Church of God in Christ, Baptist, real like Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, church. It's the stigma. It is like the worst sin that you can be, that you can have, that you can do. It's just unheard of. It's something that is prominent, but it's something that people don't talk about. You know, it's like an ask, don't tell type of situation. And I hit that, to the point where I was hiding it from myself. I was trying to convince myself that that wasn't who I was, that that wasn't a part of me, because I had such a deep desire to please my mom, to please my family, to, you know, take responsibility for who I was supposed to be, who everybody expected me to be, which was this awesome worship leader, this wonderful gospel artist, this, pastor. We at my church, we would do huge conferences with, tens of thousands of people, and I would be there leading them in worship. And it was awesome. It was great. God would move, and it would be everything. But deep down inside, I would always feel like, oh my gosh, I am such a hypocrite. Like like, there's just something that's not right about this. It's almost like my real self was inside of me screaming, and I just continued to turn the volume down. And so when Frozen came out, I was still very closeted, to the point where I had a girlfriend. like let me tell let's talk the tea. I had a girlfriend. I done bought diamond necklaces, and we just like putting on a show, let me tell you. But I remember going to that movie, and my best friend Josh, who is now my fiance, my best friend Josh, who was the only person I confided in. Like, he grew up in church too. We were both in this struggle together, but we were like, okay, we're going to hold each other accountable. You know what I mean? We're going to pray for each other so that we don't, sin, or, God gets us out of this or whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we went to go see this movie together, and my sister too. And I remember seeing the movie, and from the time it started, where it starts and they like get in the ice and like, hi ya ya, hey ya ya, hi ya. Something, and this is gonna sound kind of deep, something was like, look at this movie and pay close attention. And I was just like, oh, okay, oh, okay. And so I did. And, from the time Elsa got on screen, and, she was happy and she was free and she was being herself. And then all of a sudden she began to express who she was and her powers with her sister, and hurt her sister, and all of a sudden it became this thing with her parents, and, conceal, hide this, she went and she sought help from this troll, and ultimately, she buried who she was, for responsibility for everything that everybody thought that she had to be. And literally, like, I had goosebumps. I had chills, when the part where, Anna's just so happy and she's singing about everybody coming for the first time in forever. And she's just like, conceal, don't feel, just really trying to, put in. And the whole time I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, yes, I understand. Don't tell them who you are. Don't tell them. They're going to get you. They're going to stone you to death. Don't do it. And when the climactic scene came where she just could not do it anymore, and and exposed herself, I wouldn't even say exposed herself, but who she was overshadowed, who she really was, who she was trying to be, and it forced her to move outside of everyone's expectations and what they thought that she should be and who she thought she should be to please everybody else. And then coming into this wilderness, this mountain where it's just her, and she's left with just her and her emotions and her mind and her thought process. And then, boom, it's like something clicked. She starts singing Go, and in June, the tears were just flowing. Like, I could not stop crying from the first note. It was like I knew where she was going in the song. And towards the end of the song, I mean, when you get to the end of the song, she builds this beautiful castle and is fully able to be who she is. And I said, I looked at it and I said, I want that. I said, I want that. I was like, I want this. This is what I want for my life, you know? And I looked at Josh and Josh looked at me and he was like, and it was like instantly we both knew, like, okay, we have to figure this out. And so we left the movie. I saw it probably 4 more times and I just went back to my life. I just went back to the whole conceal, don't feel, mentality. And, whenever that movie would come on, or, I would purposely avoid going to California Adventure when I was with my family because they always wanted to go see the Frozen show. And I just couldn't do it because it reminded me of how free she was and how free I wasn't. Isn't that crazy? I know that sounds kind of like,
Wow.
but it just kept reminding me. And I kept, you know, saying, no, my purpose is bigger than this. I have such a responsibility to these people, to this church, to God, to, everyone else. I can't do it. So they would go see it and I would literally walk the other way and, go get on Tower at that time because it was Tower Terror or Guardians or whatever, go draw a picture in Animation Academy, just anything I could do to get my mind on the fact that they were there. And I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Because I think this story is kind of long. So some years passed. I did get enough strength to break up with my girlfriend who was about to be my fiance. And I had a conversation with my best friend Josh, and I was just like, Josh, I was like, we can't. I can't continue like this. I can't keep going. And I got sick with cancer. I got cancer, and we can talk about that in a minute. But what really did it for me was 2018. My grandmother, who was like my best friend, my best Disney friend in the world, she passed away on her birthday. All of a sudden, we were getting ready to go to Disneyland. She started coughing and just passed away. And it hit my family so hard. And I cried. Josh came over and gave me a hug. And I turned on the TV and Frozen was on. And in that moment, I was taken back to a conversation that I had with my grandmother, like in 2015 when we went to Disney World. At that time, me and Josh had it come to the terms of who we were and that we understand who God is and how God's love does not know what religion tries to teach, how God is deeper than that. You know what I mean? And so she pulled me and Josh to the side and she said, Josh, you're my grandson, right? And he just had the hugest smile. She said, you're my grandson. You're one of my kids. And then she looked at me and she winked and she said, come here. And we went off to the side and we were right by Epcot, by the ferries, waiting for the ferry to come and to take us to World Showcase. And she said, you're kind of like somebody else who's in our family. And I was like, I froze. You know what I mean? Like I froze because my grandmother was like a prayer warrior. She was a woman of God. You know how when you in church, you put a D on everything, a woman of God. And I just looked at her and she was like, I love you. And I just need you to know that. And then change the conversation and start talking about illuminations. And I was just stuck in that moment. Like, is she saying what I think she's saying? Is she not saying what? I don't know. So anyway, I was taken back to that moment and I knew that it would be very soon that I would have to officially come out to my family. And 2 months later, I came out to my family and my close friends. And a year later, I came out to everybody online and got engaged. And it was so scary. It still is kind of scary sometimes, because everything that I've done for the church, um, a lot of people I know are still like, what? You know what I mean? But it is so freeing. And every time I see Elsa or I see Frozen, now my heart is just so free and it's filled with so much joy because I can finally be myself and I'm reaching potentials and going for things and finding art and creativity and of who I am for something that I've always tried to hide 33 years later. And so Elsa's my favorite character.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Man, man.
Gosh.
I,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know, man. I just something about, and to be honest with you, I came out to everybody, but I did not come out to certain people. I went on my Instagram page. I blocked out all the church people, all the church pastors. I'm just being transparent. Like I blocked them all out. And a friend of mine reminded me that true freedom is when you can be truly transparent. And so I unblocked them and I went to go visit Anna and Elsa. And I took her Let It Go song and I switched it up a little bit and turned it into a coming out song. I unblocked everybody, added them back, and officially came out to the world. And I got to tell you, I have never been more happier. I am so happy to be living my life, living my truth. I have officially let it go, and I've never been closer to God. It's awesome. So yeah,
yes, snaps for you. I'm so proud of you. That is
thanks. Happy.
that is a beautiful story. Now, I mean, I won't even look at Frozen this after hearing that. It's like, wow.
Crazy how these movies can move us to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the kind of person that believes in purpose and destiny. I feel like things don't just happen for a reason. I feel like everything is predestined. I feel like there's choices we can make, but the very fact that this movie, it's funny. I tell people all the time, I'm like, this movie was made for me. I'm like, yes, I know all y'all little children love it. Y'all got y'all little Elsa ponytails and y'all dresses, and that's all well and good. But this movie was made for me because, in retrospect, this movie helped save my life.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
Props to Elsa. Love you, Elsa.
Yes. Okay, Elsa. You done made it up a couple notches on this list.
She is one like
Wow.
a prophet. That's a prophet right there.
Yes. Wow, give it up for Elsa. So you really, really hyped for November then for the sequel, I'm assuming.
I'm so nervous. I'm hyped, but I'm nervous at the same time because I don't know what's gonna happen. That sequel, Anna looked like she a gangster taking a knife and slashing somebody, and Elsa diving in the water. I'm hyped. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, Disney, don't mess with my storyline now. Don't mess with my Elsa. Y'all keep her there because they like to shock and surprise us. Don't go too far now.
I know, and it's been a few years that they've been working on this, so who knows? I'm ready. I don't know if you are, but
Idina Menzel, I've been a fan of Idina Menzel since her Broadway days, since Rent. Since she was singing "Take Me for What I Am," and Wicked and all that. I love her. So yes, yes.
okay. All right, and Dina, we'll see what you got in store for us. But let's kind of move on a little bit. Um, so is there a specific way, and I can guess, how you like to express your fandom? Does it start with the S and end with the ang?
Maybe just a little bit. Yeah, to be honest with you, I express my fandom in a few ways. For once, I do Disney bound occasionally. Nothing on your level. You are killing the game with your bounds. That Princess and the Frog, Beyonce Blue Ivy bound just gave me all of the life. And
Oh, thank
Snaps,
you.
it just your mind, the way you bound is just like you're changing the game. But yeah, I like to Disney bound. I like to do some vlogging every now and again, but my real niche and where my heart is music and singing. I love to express my fandom by singing at the parks, singing on my IG channel, on my YouTube channel. I love to sing Disney classics and write a couple Disney inspired songs myself. So yeah.
Yes, and I love them all. And we're going to get into them a little bit. So you are a West Coaster. How
Yes.
often do you go to the parks? Because I know you go to both, the East Coast and West Coast parks. So how often do you switch it up?
So I am an annual pass holder for Disneyland. And I'm at Disneyland, I'd say 2 to 3 times a week. Um, Now lately that has changed because I am getting married and paying for it, and weddings ain't cheap. So
Yep.
uh, trips have become maybe once a week now, but typically 2 to 3 weeks. I go to Disneyland to sing, to do some singing in the parking lot, if you know what I mean, or singing with some princesses and just have fun. I always want a day where I'm just having fun because I love to vlog. I love to get content, but the moment we, just treat this like it's a job or a means to gain some sort of access or fame, it's not fun anymore. You know what I mean? And I never
Yeah.
want to lose. So I try to make sure, even if I'm there to just, record a parking lot song or something, I try to make sure that I go get on one ride or get a treat or just, taking a quick show. Cause that's what Disney's about. It's about fun. It's about being a kid. It's about experiencing, joy. And since I consider myself to be Mr. Black Boy Joy, I gotta have my joy. So yeah, and when it comes to Disney World, I go to Disney World once a year. Um, since I was little, my grandparents, for Christmas every year, they would buy us a Disneyland pass. So, I mean, since the 90s, we have always been annual pass holders. And starting the late 90s, actually the year 2000, the millennium year, they began to take us to Walt Disney World at the end of the year, every year around Christmas. That was our big trip. So we still keep that tradition alive. Now it sometimes fluctuates to every other year, but we do go lately for the past 5 years. I've been to Disney World every year in December, and we'll be there in September this year. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Yes, for your honeymoon, right?
yes, we gonna be out. You know what? I cannot wait to see all my East Coast friends. It's so funny because Josh was like, "Is this gonna be a big meetup for you or a honeymoon?"
I know it's business and pleasure, right?
I was like, "I'm with you on this. This is about you and me, but I need like a day or two just to meet up with some of my people and show some love to all of my East Coast Disney friends because I really can't wait to see everybody. This platform has really connected the East and the West Coast just in our little community. And, I'm so grateful for you for that, June. I mean, what you're doing is incredible. So, yeah, once a year once a year go to Disney World and Disneyland 2 to 3 days a week.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I'm a little jelly. Anyone that can go at that often, I'm like, I wish someday, maybe. We'll see.
Happen.
So, do you have some favorite things to do when you're in the parks?
Um, when I am at the park, my number one favorite thing to do is to people watch. I love to post up at Lamplight Lounge or the Tiki Bar or the Carnation Cafe, somewhere on Main Street, get myself a Mickey's ice cream bar and just watch people. It is the funnest thing to do, to see people's reactions when they come into the park, or when they have their first bite of a churro, or they see Mickey Mouse and the band walking down the street. I mean, there's no greater joy than that. I love to see people happy. I really do. And you know, I I try to guess what they're saying or what they're thinking, especially if I'm with people. I'll be like, okay, what do you think they're saying? Oh, she's talking about how expensive the Mickey ice cream is, or she talking about how she ain't gonna buy no another Spirit jersey. You know, so I love sitting down and kind of having these conversations with myself and with people, and just chilling. I know that sounds weird because other people are into the rides and the shows, but Disneyland for me, especially because I've been there my whole life, is my kicking spot. You know what I mean? That's like where I meet up with some people. We have dinner, we chill, we take a stroll. Maybe we'll get on a ride, but yeah, I just love to chill. I love to kick it, to be honest with
That's so cool.
you.
I feel like, this is all of an assumption because I have not been to Disneyland yet. But I feel like it seems like it is a kind of a park that you can just go and chill and relax and just pass the time when you're a local.
Sis, it is the ultimate kick it spot. I'm telling you, like, if you just want to get away, because like I mean, so you live in New York, so you know what it's like to live in a busy city. You know what I mean, where everything is so fast and touch and go, and crazy, and especially with this traffic in California, and work, and wildfires, and now these earthquakes trying to creep up in here. It's nice to have a place where the pressure is off and you can just go in and chill and just relax. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a local at Disney World, but every time I go to Disney World, I feel like I have to do a lot and see a lot. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm not a local, I just feel like the energy there is awesome. It's the same type of magic, but it's more like, okay, I gotta go get on Flights of Passage. Get off the Flights of Passage. I got a reservation to go to Artist Point to do Cinderella, Snow White dining, and then I gotta, But Disneyland being my home park, it's just my kicking spot. Like it's a place for me to meet up with Erica Enchanted and Dominique, and just chill.
I see that, and I love that about that park that you guys do that. You just, meet up and chill. And I mean, the WDW locals do that as well. So I love it all. I just love the fact that you guys are connecting, period.
Well, thank you for being a advocate for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all love. I'm just so happy because I remember from my experiences of just not having people to go to the parks with. And now I can pick a name out of a hat. I can just like, hey guys, I'm going, and I got a whole crew. So that I think that's amazing that this is possible now where you can find someone to go with like at the drop of a hat.
June, we gonna be at the airport waiting for you. you like you late. Come on, let's go. Let's do it.
I'm so excited. And yes, okay, you're gonna be my personal Uber with that.
I got you. I took all 3 of them days off. I got you.
Yes. Okay, cool. I'm so excited. So, do you have a favorite park?
Yes, I do, and it is not out here, which is surprising because I love me some Disneyland, but I love me some Epcot just a little bit more. Epcot is like y'all. I'm telling y'all, East Coasters are so spoiled with Epcot. If I could switch out, this is probably an unpopular Disney opinion, but I'm gonna say it anyway. If I could switch out California Adventure for Epcot, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Hmm.
There is just so much culture in Epcot. Epcot, you could travel the world, and all you gotta do is walk a mile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't gotta get on a plane. You ain't gotta get a passport. You could just walk a mile. I love that sort of, and it may not be super real or authentic, but it feels that way. I feel like Disney does such a great job of bringing people in from these different nations with these different experiences, who you can talk to and interact with. Like I said, I'm a people person. You can tell from this interview so far. I'm talking, you got like 3 words in so far. What?
It's your
But
show, boo.
I love to talk to these people from these different countries. I love to try the different foods. I love the festivals. And then on the flip side, you got the land and the sea with Nemo and friends. And you can travel without having to go too far from the depths of the ocean, to France. And I think that that's so tight. I think that is so freaking tight. So Epcot is number one for me.
Yeah, I mean Epcot. I feel like Epcot gets the crown most of the time for most people because it's versatile. You have the theme park part of it, and then you have kind of just like a I don't even know what to call it, just like a museum attraction, just kind of to it in World Showcase. And then if people, the fact that it is the one of the major destinations for amusement, people all over the world come there and they can kind of feel a little of home when they go to Epcot. So I think that it serves so many purposes.
Else is there. So, my homegirl, she got her own ride there. So, had to show love. Now, I never got on Maelstrom before it became Frozen Ever After, but I heard that ride was pretty dope too. So, but the fact that there's a Frozen ride, that just makes it even better for me. So,
Right? Yeah, I never got on Maelstrom either before that. My Epcot is the Three Caballeros. That's my
uh, you know what? That ride is dope too. It reminds me kind of like a Pirates or a Small World without the drops.
Yeah, it's like a little tunnel of love. It's like it's mad chill. You never have to wait. When it's super hot, you can just run on there and enjoy the little fireworks show and the Three Caballeros show. And so my kids love that ride, and I don't mind it. I mean, I enjoy it too. So we can find us doing that back to back at least 5 times.
Oh, let me tell you something. When I need a break because my feet feel like they about to fall off of my body, I look for those type of rides and experiences.
Yeah.
And I totally see that being it. For me out here in Disneyland, it's Pirates. I'll do the same thing. I'll ride Pirates back to back to back to the point where the cast members are like, "Hey, RJ, you want the back roll again?" I do. Back row. Thank you very much. I got my beignets too. I know y'all said don't eat, but I probably will have one or two while I'm going on because I had to get a snack because I've been doing this for an hour.
And your Pirates ride is pretty long. It's a pretty long ride.
Yeah, they take us through the treasure and everywhere else. So yeah.
Wow, I can't wait to ride it.
Yeah, I can't
So,
wait out here.
yeah, oh my God. I'm not gonna have enough time to get everything done. And I really should have stayed longer. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Who knows? I might have to change my plane tickets, but we'll see.
Just play it by ear.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna see what happens. I may just find a place to live.
Right? Look, you come out here, I'm gonna move out there and go to Epcot every day.
Right? At least we both have a place to crash, right?
I know, right?
So you mentioned before that you battled cancer. Would you like to share with us your cancer story?
Sure, I would love to. And I'm gonna try to make it quick because I know I have the ability to talk. Like I said, I'm a preacher's kid, so I kind of inherited that, storytelling ability. But so one day, out of the blue, In fact, actually, the day before, we just finished a conference, like a women's conference at church. And I woke up to huge blood blisters in my mouth. Like these things were huge. And if you want, June, I can send you those pictures and you can post them if you want. Up to you. But I woke up to huge blood blisters in my mouth. And I was like, what is this? Something about this ain't right. Now, I have always had terrible allergies. I'm allergic to almost everything. And my allergies are seasonal. So they fluctuate as the seasons come and go. So the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, this is an allergic reaction. Let me take some Benadryl and go to work. So I did. Didn't really talk too much about it. I didn't tell Josh. I just took some Benadryl, went to work, and then it just I just started not feeling right. My head started pounding. I at the time I was working in a call center, so I had to be on the phone, and I felt like they were getting bigger, and so I could not talk. So I told my boss, I was like, I gotta go. Something's not right. I need to go rest. My allergic reaction is getting really bad. And she, you know what? And she gave me a hard time. Even after I showed her the blood blister, she was like, um, Rodney, oh, because by the way, y'all, my name is Rodney. I'm a junior, so that's where RJ comes from. So a quick note there. Rodney, we're really, really short staffed. I don't know if I can let you go. I was like, I have to go. And legally, you cannot keep me here. So I'm about to kick rocks. God bless. And I got out there. And at that time, I worked in LA and I lived in Riverside. So that's about an hour to 45 minutes away. And I would take the train to work every day. Took the train to work, got home, said hi to everybody, went straight to bed. Woke up the next day and the blood blisters were even bigger in my mouth. And I just really started to freak out. Under my eyes, it was very dark. Like it looked like I was wearing, like I had eyeshadow all over my eyes. I went to, and not to get too graphic, but I went to use the restroom and my urine was pure blood. It was just like blood was coming straight out of me. And my heart started pounding. And I was just like, okay, okay, okay. I started to reason with myself. I was like, okay, something's not right. Something's not right here. Um, it startled me. So I kind of had a little flashback and I flushed the toilet, didn't clean everything up, and ran out the bathroom, went in my room and started pacing. My sister, who was living with us, Brittany, shout out to you, Brittany, you helped save my life, went to the bathroom after me and she saw blood all on the side of the toilet. And she busted in the room and she looked at my mouth and she said, I'm calling 911. And I was like, no, Brittany, don't call 911. It's just got to be a reaction. It's just got to be. She was like, no, 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 no. I'm calling mom. So she called my mom. My mom lived about 10 minutes away from us. My mom got here in like 5 minutes. I kid you not. Went to the hospital. They put me into emergency. And 20 minutes later, the doctor was telling me, we don't know what's wrong with you. Um, but we need to get another sample. So we want you to go urinate. I went again and it was like pure blood. I mean, like thick, pure blood. And they said we have to keep you overnight. And, you know, they admitted me in the hospital the whole time. I'm just freaking out. And I'm just like, okay, God, what is going on? Like, we just did a conference. You moved. Like, what is this? I ain't been out there doing crazy things. Like, what is happening? I started to cry and blood started coming out of my tears. And at this point, I was just, every bad thought that you could think about flooded my mind at that moment. And about an hour later, at this time, it was close to the night, the doctors came and they said, it looks like you have IPT, sort of a blood cancer. And I was like, well, what is that? And I can't really pronounce it. It's like Indio. You work in the medical field. You probably know what I'm talking about. And the crazy thing about this is it's very rare because it's not seen in too many adults. A lot of children get it, but pretty much what it is it for those who don't know, it causes your platelets to will diminish. Your body begins to attack the platelets. And so if you scrape yourself or scratch yourself or get bruised, you can bleed out.
Right.
Um, and they were like, we're going to start here. We think it's something different, but we definitely know you have that because you are bleeding and you won't stop bleeding. And my mom was like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? And the doctor was like, well, we're just going to try to see if we can get this under control. We're going to do a couple more tests. So they took me to do, oh gosh, I can't even think. I had to do some x-rays. Um, and they found a whole bunch of different growths, some on my brain, some on my kidneys, and they were rupturing and causing me to bleed. And so the doctor was like, okay, so you have what looks like might be a mild form of brain cancer, but it could also be cancer on your kidneys. I mean, I'm just sitting here in awe, like, what? What? You know, the day before, I felt fine. I didn't feel like anything was wrong. And, you know, we can't really do surgery on you because if we do surgery, you might not heal in time and we may not be able to control, you know, your body. You might bleed out. So we're going to have to do some emergency chemo on you, radiation. And I was on 24-hour watch. Uh, I heard my mom talking to the doctor outside the room, and she was like, I just need to know if he does not stop bleeding, what's going to happen? And the doctor was like, to be honest with you, he'd be lucky if he gets 2 weeks. And I don't think I told my mom, I ever told her that I heard that. I I act like I didn't because she just kind of broke down after that on the other side of the door or the little curtain that they pull
Mm-hmm.
in the hospital. They thought I was asleep, but I wasn't. And so, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about this. Just
Yes. Take your
like it
time.
just it takes me back to that moment, and I just I just could not believe it. Um, my mom came in and she was just smiling, but I could tell that she had been crying. And my sister came in and she was crying. She couldn't hold it back, but she just kept talking about how much she loves me and to always remember that. And at this time, me and Josh had not, we weren't, we weren't really together. We hadn't, come to that conclusion. I was still with my girlfriend at the time. But we had this mutual love and respect for each other. And he was at work and he left work, he showed up and, there was a strength that I could see in his face. Um, there was just like this, like his body seemed like kind of like reactive. He was kind of nervous. He was fidgeting a little bit. His knees were moving while he was sitting in the chair, but like there was a strength in his face. Little did I know at the time, he was really, really holding me up in prayer. And so I bled for 3 days straight and my platelets, the average person has about 200,000 to 400,000 platelets in their body, and I had 200. The doctors did not even know how I was alive. They kept running like pins up and down my feet and my legs, and they were like, "Do you feel pain? Do you feel pain?" And I didn't feel any pain. That's why I was so confused because I wasn't really in pain. My body felt tired and weak because I was losing so much blood. Every time I went to the bathroom, I cried, but I did not really feel super weak. And I just kept bleeding. The nurses kept coming in and it was so funny. They would encourage me. They would be like, okay, this time when you pee, it's gonna be clear. It's gonna be clear. And of course I would go in there and it would just be like the darkest blood ever, you know. And they would just be like hug me and say things to me. And at this point now we're at 1 full week, and I remember getting my cell phone, and this lady from church came to visit me, And she was like my assistant at the time. Shout out to you, Lynette, if you're listening. She took my, I said, hand me my phone. I said, I want to make a couple of videos. And she was like, what type of videos? I said, I just need to make some videos. And she was like, well, I can't be in here for this, because she knew what type of videos I was making. And I pretty much made a whole bunch of goodbye videos. I made videos for my family. Oh God, Lord, just remembering this. I made videos for my friends. I made videos just for people. I made videos congratulating my sisters on getting married, on graduating college, just as many videos as I could think of, because I was so afraid that they were going to forget me. And not that they ever could, but I just didn't want to just be this sad memory. So I was cracking jokes and laughing and doing all these things in these videos as a way to say goodbye and make sure they had a happy memory. I even made a video about at my funeral, and I wanted them to play, where I told everybody I want everybody to wear bow ties and clown noses. So when they look to the right and the left, they'll at least laugh or smile for a moment when they're tempted to cry. And I made the videos. I went back down in the room, and my grandfather came in the room, and he just looked at me, and I could tell that he had been, really battling with it too. And he put his hand on my chest and he said, a year from now, this will all be a memory. And he said, you have to believe it though. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to be a memory for y'all because I'm not going to be here. And he was like, no, this will be a memory for you. And so I said, okay, we chatted it up. I went to the shower, and I remember just breaking down in the shower, and I just cried, and I was so angry. I yelled at the top of my lungs. The nurse and the doctor came, and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, just get away from me. I'm fine. People don't like to talk about, some survivors don't like to talk about that struggle, but I feel like it's important to show that, you can be vulnerable in those moments, and you're not always the strongest. You're not always like, oh, I'm just going to fight this thing, because that's not where my mind was. I was mad. I was like, God, I'm doing all this work for you, and I'm about to die like this, bleeding out. And something in the depths of my heart, I just heard this song playing. I heard it playing over and over again. And I was trying to figure out, what melody is that? And I began to hum it. And it was like, and I kept humming it. And then the words just hit me. And it was this song by Deitrick Haddon called He's Able. And I just began to sing it. It's like it was just flowing out of me uncontrollably. I was just singing, God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's going to fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God, because he won't give up on you. He's able. And it was like something in me switched. And right there, I made the decision that I was going to live. That no matter what they said, I was going to live. And when they came in the next day, they were going to tell me that my platelets had gone up. And I went back to my bed, my hospital bed, got in, and just went straight to sleep. And I promise you, I had never slept that good in my life. I woke up the next day, and they told me, your platelets went down even more. Oh my gosh, what? What is happening? What is happening? I was so upset, but I was like, I am not going to let myself react in any way that will counteract what I've already put in the atmosphere. And that is that I am going to be okay. He said, we're going to take another blood test because I did 2 a day to see where your platelets are. So they did another one in the afternoon, and my platelets went up 150. And, they were like, the way that they said it was like, it's not much, but it's something. And for me, it was everything. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That 150 was like 5,000,
Yeah.
I started crying. I started screaming. I was so happy. They laughed at me because I started singing When You Wish Upon a Star. I don't even know why I started singing that song. It was the only song that came to my mind. But I started singing that song like I was on the 1989 Grammys, and Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and Mariah Carey was all up there, and we was all battling trying to get the lead. I mean, I was singing that song on that hospital bed. And from then on, every day my platelets went higher and higher and higher and higher until they were safe enough to release me. They got to 90,000. They said, you can go home. We're going to still have to monitor you every day. And just to kind of wrap the story up, because I know it's a long-winded one, um, every day was hard when I left because they would go up and down, until a year later, October 15th, I was able to ring the bell and officially declare that I was cancer free. One day, out of the blue, my platelets went up 200,000. They had no idea how it happened. It was not because I was at this point I was on chemo every day. Well, not every day, but I was on chemo every week, and treatments and nutrition and all this stuff. But one day they just shot up 200,000. The doctor couldn't believe it. He continued to check it. He must have ran like 6 tests on me, and they all came back. And I knew that it was God. I knew that God healed me. And I'm not trying to convince anybody to believe in God, believe what you want to believe. But for me, it was a miracle. I was a miracle. And wow, I celebrated my 7-year anniversary this year since
Wow.
diagnosed. I went from having 2 weeks to live to being here 7 years, coming out, living my truth. Thank you, Elsa. Getting married, working on a Disney-inspired album. I I am so happy and so blessed, and it's just an example of how life can switch on a dime, and where you thought you were going to be and what you thought you were going to do is not really always what is destined for you to do. So I am such an advocate for survivors and for people who get diagnosed. If you follow my IG, I do something every morning called Morning Inspiration. And it's a pep talk that I used to give to myself that now I give to everybody else about pursuing destiny, following your dreams, not letting negativity in your life, living in your truth, because those things, those negative things can add to the destruction of you. Stress kills, you know what I mean? So to
Yeah.
have an outlet like Disney that inspires hope and inspiration and joy and talks about how life is not always fair, and people die and we lose people, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. To have that outlet has really allowed me to find out who RJ is again. And I'm excited because I'm learning who I am in this second chance that I've been given. And anything that I could do to pay it forward, I do. I've been to the cancer hospital since I've been sick. I've given to cancer charities. I feel like it's my responsibility. I tell people, go get checked, go to the doctor, make sure you're okay, drink water, do eat vitamins. I just finished a cleanse not too long ago because it's so important. We take advantage of what we can't see. And being sitting in the hospital, getting chemo with other people every week, and then watching those people disappear because they didn't make it puts things in perspective. The fact that we can all listen to this podcast right now, the fact that we have the finances and the money to go to parks where there's some people who don't even know where their next meal is coming from. We've got to remember how truly blessed we are. We may not have everything we want, but we have what we need to sustain us. And if we continue to push for our dreams and push for who who we're meant to be, I'm telling you, we'll be surprised. We'll be surprised at what we could achieve and how we could be blessed. Sorry, I didn't mean to go there. I didn't mean to go there, but you
That's
know,
okay. You had a word, David.
when you get me talking about that, I get real emotional about it because it's just such a huge part of my life now.
I mean, it's such an incredible story, and I mean, I'm blown away by what you've gone through, and I'm so happy for you that you are here now and that,
Oh, thank you,
you are
Jen.
here to tell the story. Um, I mean, it's truly a miracle, 100%.
Let me tell you, they happen every day, and I never expected one to happen to me. But I'm so glad that it did. And I'm living proof that they still happen and they can happen to anybody and they will happen if you are open. If you're open to receiving good, good will come to you.
Hmm.
The mindset is that we got to change your mindset. We look at these Disney movies and at every point, like even the Lion King, we were just talking about the Lion King. You know what I mean? Simba had to make a decision to face the difficulties of what he thought he did. But in retrospect, what did it do? Him confronting his truth made him king. You know,
Right, right,
those themes that we see in these movies, these things that remind us of what to be grateful for and how to move on and to have joy. That's why I love Disney. That's why I'm for it. That's why I'm with it.
right. Pursuing happiness because at the end of the day, that's, the most important thing. Living in your truth and finding your happiness.
Making the decision, making the
Yes,
decision to be happy no matter what.
right. Exactly. So, was there any way that Disney helped you cope with your illness?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. At that time, I was bedridden, so I couldn't go to the parks. I couldn't go to Disneyland. My
Mhm.
pass expired. I was just devastated. So I started looking at blogs. I mean, I was Mr. Blog, okay? If anybody had a blog on Disney, I don't care if they had, you know, -2 subscribers. I was watching their channel. I was watching what they were looking at. And that's where my love for vlogging came. I was like, I can do this. He ain't even talking about it right. He ain't even getting the history right. I need to be up there doing this. But no, seriously, there are some great people. One of my best friends in the world, Mr. Cheesy Pop, Max, who is just such a great guy. I mean, this guy is awesome. He has a huge following, and his heart is golden. There are a lot of people who, unfortunately, in the Disney and outside the Disney community, who have huge followings that aren't always so nice. But it was refreshing to see someone who vlogged at the parks and vlogged about Disney and seemed so genuine. And when I got a chance to meet him in person, was so genuine, and then our friendship just blossomed on from there. So shout out to you, Mr. Cheesy Pop. But yeah, I watched a whole bunch of different vlogs, a whole different bloggers. I was looking at the Disney Channel. I mean, old reruns of That's So Raven, just pulling my pulling hope and inspiration from everywhere. I remember when they made the announcement about some of the expansions coming to Disney World, about New Fantasyland and everything that was coming. I was like, oh, I gotta stay alive. I gotta be alive because I gotta see that. I gotta go to the Pandoras. My grandma used to call it Pandoras. She'd be like, I gotta go see Pandoras. And so So I would say, I gotta be alive, so I gotta go see the Pandoras. And she would call me and be like, yeah, you gotta fight, RJ. We gotta go see the Pandoras. And so sadly she didn't get a chance to see it, but I know where she is. It's twice as beautiful and even more fun. So she's good. But yeah, that was my motivation, just the hope to go and be in my environment, to be back at my home at Disneyland, and to meet some of these incredible vloggers and these people who are showcasing and doing things that I've been doing my entire life. That was a big inspiration for me and a help for me to get better. When you're going through certain things in your life, you have to find something to look forward to. You know what I mean? You especially when you're dealing with a terminal illness,
Yeah.
you have got to find something to focus on besides being stuck with a million needles a day.
Hmm.
You got to have that, because I mean, you work in the medical field, so I know you probably have seen these type of things before, where a make or break spirit is going to keep you or defeat you, you
Yeah.
know
And you
and
have to, yeah, stay positive, and you need some kind of escape because it's, being in that environment 24/7, 365, you cannot leave those walls. It's hard to stay positive. It's a actual struggle. You have to physically, mentally make the effort to find, the positivity, the silver lining in everything. And it's not easy.
not at all. They used to bring in little dogs, like, little service animals,
Yeah.
dogs for us to pet. And then people sometimes, like, just random people will come and visit and, bring like vegan, non-dairy, non-flavor ice cream. Because, when you battling cancer, you're not really supposed to eat sugar because sugar feeds that.
Hmm.
So, they would, there'd be little things. But when it came to me, my sister Brittany was my cancer chemo buddy. We would always do chemo together, and we would just pull out iPad, pull out phones, and just start watching Disney videos and talk about our next trip and what we gonna do when we get there. And I know that was her way of getting my mind off of what was happening, because chemo is not fun. It's terrible. I'm sorry. You know how they make it look like it's bad in the movies? It's bad in real life like that. But yeah, just looking forward to doing it, getting inspired by these other vloggers, and wanting to go after it myself. Disney helped me in that sense, helped me to cope with it, and helped me to get through it.
So did you have a blog or vlog that was like you got it every time something new came on, you had to watch it right away?
Um, a few. So I love looking at the trackers
Okay.
when they came out, just because let me tell you something. I know, a lot of people, some people I've heard recently have mixed feelings. I love the trackers. I do. I love them. I think they're awesome, and they were my go-to. Prince Charming Dev, who is great. He's a POC vlogger. He is so cool. I love looking at his vlog because his perspective, it's us. It's who we are. You know what I mean? It's family. And so it was like seeing Disney through, my brother's eyes. You know what I mean? That black experience. So This Life of Ours, the other June and Rachel,
Yeah.
um, love them. Love their blogs. They are hilarious. And so, yeah, like I said, there were a couple of vlogs that I just would watch. My notifications would just pop up, and I'd be like, oh. And it's so funny because Josh will be like, "You're watching vlogs again," and I'll be like, "Yes, I am watching vlogs again," because it just brought me so much joy. So, and y'all should check them out too. I don't know if you've had a chance to. I know you may know some of them, June, but This Life of Ours, Prince Charming Dev, Mr. Cheesy Pop, Disney Food Blog. I mean, like I said, I was watching everybody. They got some great content, and they were a big inspiration for me as well. So,
Yeah. So you have your own channel now. Um,
hey, yes, yes, yes.
yes. Do you want to tell us a
I
little
do.
bit about This Is How We Disney?
Okay, so my channel is This Is How We Disney. And
Okay, yes.
now that we done got all the emotional stuff out of the way,
Yes.
yeah, so that was pretty much the inspiration for my channel. I was looking at these vlogs and I like I said, I didn't really see too much of us. You know what I mean? By us, I just mean POC people. I saw a lot of people with great vlogs, but not too many people who look like me. And I was like, Black people love Disney too. We do. We love Disney, love storytelling, love magic, all of that. And I was like, we really need to show that perspective, especially with my family. Like my family is crazy. We are fun. We are like we all sing. So, we we go around the theme parks singing, and it's so funny because we would be at Disneyland and I'd be like, man, that would have been tight to record. Or man, if we had that on camera, man, I promise you we would have got views like a mug. And my sister was like, well, maybe you should start it. My grandmother was like, yes, RJ, you need to go for it. You need to just start it, And I was like, I'm gonna only start it if y'all gonna be in it, because I really wanted to give that, Black family image that, I didn't really see in the Disney community. I mean, like I said, Diz Life of Ours and Prince Charming Dev are the only people that I really saw. And maybe there were more out there that I just couldn't find, but I was like, I think we can do it. So we started This Is How We Disney, which was just, Disney from our perspective. It was pretty much about, us just being at Disneyland, singing, dancing, getting on the rides, just, having a good time. I mean, to be honest with you, the channel didn't really have a direction, if you know what I mean. When we first started, it was just about, recording us at the parks, doing different things. And as it continued to go on, we continue to, well, I continue to kind of take a little bit more charge of it because my family members began to move and do certain things. And I started to sing. And let me tell you something, every time I posted a singing video where I was singing somewhere, or even we're singing on the way to a ride, people begin to respond to that like crazy, like, oh my gosh, more of this, more singing. We love this. We love to hear you sing. We love to hear your family sing. And over time, that just kind of became the niche of my channel, still doing the, occasional vlogs where I go on some rides or do a food festival. But, mainly me singing, that kind of became the direction and the focus of what my channel is now and what it's becoming.
Yeah, and I've seen your singing videos. I mean, I love your positivity. I should say, going back from you talking about your IG stories when you have your encouraging, your words of encouragement every morning. I do enjoy watching that.
Oh,
And I love your singing. I mean, it's like a part of you. There's not a day that goes by where you don't sing, I'm sure. It
you
looks
know
like
what?
it's like breathing for you.
It really is. It's so crazy because, like, I promise you, sometimes I'll sing and I don't even know that I'm singing. And when I was in college, my college roommate did not, he was not having it. He was like, why do you sing answers? You know, he, do you want to go get some tacos? I'd be like, yes, I want 3 tacos. Can we go get them from Del Taco? They having a sale right now. And he's like, did you really have to sing that? You couldn't just say yes? You couldn't just say yes? And so yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just engrafted into me. Like my father is a jazz musician, a semi-famous jazz musician, Rodney Taylor. Google him. My my mom grew up singing. My grandmother grew up singing. Like it's just engrafted. All of my siblings, we played between us all. We played the piano, the saxophone, the trumpets, the violin, the viola. And of course, we all sing. So music is just a part of who I
Yes. And you have something called Parking Lot the Musical. How did you come up with that?
am. Okay, so this was when I first started. So when I first started vlogging, I was trying to, you look at these people's blogs, right? And they have their little sign-offs that they do when they done with vlogs, like, the trackers, Tim Tracker, his is, and now it's time to pay the price. And Prince Charming Devs, I think his is, it's nice to be nice. And so I was trying to think like, okay, what can I do to end this vlog? Like, what can I do? And I remember just walking in the parking lot, and I started to sing the end of the Mickey Mouse March. Now it's time to say goodbye with all our company. And, I sang it, and I don't know, I just kind of kept humming to myself, and I kept recording. And before you know it, I was singing my own little parking lot the musical, because I was singing so much, I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking, and I got lost in the parking lot. And I did not know where my car was. I did not know. So I start walking around the parking lot, just kind of singing to myself while I was recording. And the first one that I did was inspired by Pocahontas. So if you don't know what Parking Lot the Musical is, for those who are listening, pretty much I take songs, Disney songs, and twist them around to me trying to find my car. Um, and I'm telling you, honest to God now, like 50% of the time, I do forget where my car is. And I try to do it on purpose so that I could think of a song on the way to my car. So
Wow.
this first time in particular, I had just seen Mickey and the Magical Map, which you should totally see, June, when you come out here. And there is a song, a part of the show where Pocahontas sings. And I just had Pocahontas in my spirit. Hey. So she came to my mind, and I was just singing, that song, Once Around the River Bend.
Yeah.
I want once more, once around the river bend. So I was like, what I like most about Disney is, or no, what I like most about parking is, I never can find my space. The parking's always changing, always growing. And from then on, I just started to improv and ad lib. And I remember finishing when I found my car, and then I looked at it and I started laughing so hard. And I posted it on IG in my stories and put it on my channel, and people went crazy over it. People start posting it on their IGs in their stories, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, maybe this can be a thing. So we came back to Disneyland the following week, and I thought, what if I try to do this every time I'm in the parking lot, and really challenge myself to not pre-do it, not pre-record it, not sit home and write down a whole bunch of musicals, but really trying to get it straight off the dome whenever I'm in the parking lot. And that's where it was born from. And now it's really become a thing that people look forward to, especially my people on IG. Like, I get people who hit me up like, I can't wait to hear the next one. It's Monday, so I know you're going to Disneyland. And why don't you do something from Beauty and the Beast? Why don't you do something from Frozen? So yeah, now it's actually become a thing, and I love it. I do.
I can't believe you just make those lyrics up off the top of your head.
Sometimes I'll tell people, like, because I feel like I've exhausted every Disney song. So I'll post it in my IG story. I'll be like, can you guys give me a song to do? And I do that purposely because I've been accused by a couple of people, oh, you write those before you get there. And I'm like, no, they really come in the moment. And so I ask people all the time, give me a song, give me a movie, give me something. And so I did one live with Rapunzel and At Last I See the Light. You know that song?
Yeah.
Uh, And it was, and at last I found my car after walking 1,000 miles. And at last I found my car. Why the hell did I park so far? So it, it became this thing because, I mean, let's be honest, we can all really identify where we go to Disney or we go somewhere and we park in these huge parking spaces and we don't know where we parked and our feet hurt and we tired and we ready to go home and it feels like it's never ending. And so I pretty much just took that and built these little soundtracks off of it. And I really enjoy it. I feel like it pushes me as a writer. It pushes me to kind of sharpen my skills and challenges me. So I look forward to it. Like, I'm going to Disneyland on Friday and I'm already like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna put it out there again. So, if anybody got suggestions, let me know. We're gonna make it work.
Yes, I love it. Can I think of a song? I don't know. I feel like
Yes, give me an idea. I'm running
well,
low on
have you
ideas.
done Powerline yet? Have you done Powerline
I
for parking?
did do Powerline. I did Powerline when we went to 90s night because it was
Okay.
like all 90s. So yeah, I did Powerline.
Mm. So let's see. And I'm sure you've done Lion King. Those are my
I,
favorites.
yes, Lion King is my favorite one that I've done, and I recently just reposted it because I did the Circle of Life, and
Oh,
towards
yes.
the
I remember
end,
watching that.
when I'm really like, till we find our place, the wind knocks my hat off, blows my popcorn, and it looks like it was done on purpose. I was like, well, thank you, Jesus, for the production. I did. It just really added to the video. So if there's one to watch, it would be the that one. It would be the Circle of Life one. That one is my favorite one.
Yeah. I can't think of any.
It's okay. Think about it for a minute and then let me know because
All right.
I feel like I've done all the major movies. And I
Yeah.
just don't do.
Okay. If any of you guys out there, and definitely DM me and I will send it to RJ and we'll have him perform it and I'll share it on Apples and Pixie Dust.
Yes. And you know what? I can even do it live to show y'all. Like,
Yes, that'll be
live.
perfect.
That's great.
Awesome. So I'm assuming this is your one of your favorite videos to shoot. Is there any others that you like to do on your vlog?
So I am a foodie. FOODIE. I am a foodie. I love to do food reviews, and Disney has just upped their game on a lot of their restaurants, especially out there in Epcot. We finally starting to get some cool experiences out here on the West Coast, but the East Coast, whenever I go to Disney World, I have got to get the Disney dining plan because I want to dine in the best of the Disney restaurants and feel like I am Prince Ali Alibaba and people are serving me. So I love to do food blogs. I love to it's interesting when you go through something like cancer, your whole mindset changes. You just want to do everything, try everything. It's like being born all over again. And everything is new, and the things that you once didn't see, now you see them again. And so I love to taste things and try things. I mean, since being diagnosed, I've eaten some weird things. I've had snails, I've had raw octopus where the little tentacles move. I mean, I've done all that stuff. I haven't really vlogged about that though, because it wasn't pretty, the end result of the octopus. But yeah, to answer your question, I love to do food vlogs. My mom is a caterer, and I hope one day to have a couple of food trucks or a restaurant. I'm trying to be like Candy from the Real Housewives. I'm trying to have businesses. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I'm telling Ursula. I'm telling and her
What you say? You
cousin.
tell? Oh, no, that's my sister. You can't tell Ursula. I did that.
Exactly. I can't believe you.
I did that. I love me some Ursula, man. I love her. I did that Ursula Bound in one of my vlogs when I went to Mickey's Halloween party where my boy Lawrence, big shout out to Lawrence. He hooked me up. I was in that makeup chair for 2 hours
Ooh.
and he completely transformed me into the male version of Ursula. It was really fun.
Yes, and I loved it. It was so nice. I mean, not even nice. It was amazing. I'm gonna I don't know how to describe it. But yeah,
Yeah.
he did a really great job. So I may have to sit in his chair one day when I
Let
have
me
to
tell
do a
you,
Luke.
he will get you together
Okay.
all the way together. He's
Yes.
great. No, seriously, check him out. He's done so many different looks. He's done Tinkerbell. He's done because he also had his alter ego is Lily, the lovely Lily Rose, and he has done some things for a lot of different people, makeup artists, celebrities. I know that he works with Sephora and even has auditioned to be a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race. So we're sending him good vibes because I would love to see him soar. But he is incredibly talented, and I think you probably will be able to get to meet him when you come out here.
My wheels are turning now. Okay.
I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I need a look for this
Yes.
year. Look,
Yes.
and I already idea. I'm about to blow y'all socks off with my Halloween costume this year. Just get ready.
Okay. I stay ready, so let's do it.
Do it.
So I can't wait to get a food tour from you when I come to California. I love watching your vlogs where you go into the treat shops. And now I understand why having treats are so much more special to you, um, being that you couldn't have sugar before.
Couldn't
I
have. Yeah.
I I cannot wait for us to sit down, treat together. I'll be
We are
so
going to eat, June. We are going to eat. And then we're going to go to the gym the next day.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, what would you say is your favorite Disney moment or memory?
Oh my gosh. I've had so many incredible moments and experiences at Disney. Um, Being that I am a cancer survivor, something that I love to do when I go to the parks is I have a cancer survivor pin. You know the I'm celebrating pins? I get those and I write cancer survivor on them. And the reason that I do that is because when I got better and I was able to go back to Disneyland and I got my pin and I put cancer survivor on it, I remember I was in Walt Disney World. We were celebrating, and this woman came up to me, and she had her little daughter with her, and her daughter didn't have any hair, and her mom, looked at my button, and she ran over and she said, see, that's gonna be you. That's gonna be you." And she was like, and the little girl just kind of looked at me, and I saw that look that she gave me was the same look that I had. And I just asked the mom, I was like, do you know what type of cancer it is or what stage she's at? She was like, she's at stage 4 and it's leukemia. She was like, but we brought her here. We're here with Make a Wish. And she's like, I'm not giving up. I'm just not. Everybody else is telling me, that it's not gonna work out, but I'm not giving up. And so I took my pen off and I put it on the little girl. And I said, from now on, you wear this pen. I said, this is your armor. I said, you know how, the princes have shields. I said, Mulan has a shield. I said, this is your shield. I said, whenever you go in and you got to get medicine, I said, put this on. I said, this is your superpower and it's going to make you It's going to make you better. Boy, if me and the mom weren't just hugging and crying together, and she was just like, oh my gosh. She was like, thank you so much. she's like, that's just a little bit that I needed, because as hard as cancer is on the person, it's hard on the family too. When you got to watch somebody slowly deteriorate, that takes a toll on you. And so, um, come to find out, a year later, she got in contact with me, and she said that her daughter is doing well, that her cell count was up. They haven't completely said that she was cancer free, but she made a complete 360, just on how she was feeling. Her hair was starting to grow back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've, I, I've got to do this. This is something that I got to do. So every time I come in the parks now, I get my little, my cancer-free pin. And I'm telling you, you would be surprised how many people I've given to who are there because either they feel like it's going to be their last trip, or they just leave chemo, or they're trying to be hopeful. And so it's become like a tradition for me.
Wow. That's, oh my God. Dude, I can't. It's too much, all the feels you've been giving me this whole hour. Like, wow, that is so beautiful. That's one thing about Disney. It's, those kind of trips are the trips that are what make Disney so special, that those are
Yeah.
the memories that people can have, and I'm so happy that this child is doing better.
Yeah. Just remember Emily on your prayers.
Yes, definitely. And it's beautiful that the family could have that moment,
Yeah.
and it was even elevated to a whole nother level, having that experience with you and taking it home, and now she's on the mend, she's getting better, and I'm sure she will never forget that day in the
Me
park.
either. It just, I consider myself an unofficial cast member.
Yeah.
What are the cast members' job? The cast members' job is to create an experience and to bring joy to people, that they'll have forever. And so since I've had so much joy at the parks at Disneyland, when I go there, I feel like, it's weird, but I feel like I have a responsibility to cheer somebody else's day up. So oftentimes I'll do things on my channel where I do cast member appreciations, and I'll give shout outs to cast members, or, I'll buy the person behind me in line a Dole Whip. I'll say, what are you getting? Oh, I'm getting Dole. I got it. It's on me. That type of situation, because, I'm, like I told you, my whole motto in life right now is to just be joy and be happiness and give love and give light. And we see that every time we go into the Disney parks. So sorry, not to not to derail, but that probably is my most special moment that I had at Disney. That was kind of life changing for me. Oh, and I went to Club 33 to celebrate
Yes.
anniversary. That was incredible too. They didn't have Mickey Mouse came out, the whole staff and crew came out, and they gave me some Club 33 ears and a card where they all signed it and they all applauded me. I broke down. I was a mess. I was just crying and slobbering, and it was on Dapper Day too. It was
Mm.
on Dapper Day, so I had to go back in the bathroom and fix myself up. But Club 33 is everything everybody says it is and more. So that was an incredible moment. That was an awesome day, and I got to meet my friends. I met Erica. I met who was it? I meet Evelyn, Dominique, um, and not Tim. You can't call him Tim.
Eddie, yeah,
Yeah,
he'll cut you.
he gonna crack when he hears that. I met Tim. No, I'm kidding. I met Eddie. So that was an all around good day. So good day.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's like a day you'll never forget.
Oh,
Definitely, definitely a core
never.
memory.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. So we're gonna wrap up soon. This has been, oh my God, such an empowering, enriching conversation. I mean, thank you for sharing your stories with us. And I mean, I just I don't even know
Thank you
what
for
to say. I've
having me.
just been overwhelmed by hearing your whole life story, and the fact that you're still so positive, the fact that you're still so happy, and you're here and you want to spread positivity to others is just amazing. And it's a testament to your strength and how amazing you are. And oh, just thank you so much for that, period.
You're
Like,
about to have me like really crying over here. Like you about to have me teared up. No, I appreciate the platform. I appreciate you. I like I said, if I could say, and let me tell you, you know I'm a real listener to your podcast because I know the next question you're gonna ask me.
yes.
If
So go
I
for
could
it.
say what I want people to know about me, that what people want to know about me is that I believe that it is my purpose to help others realize their purpose by encouragement, by giving them love, joy, and a smile. I always say, if you start your day with a smile, you will end with a smile because no matter what comes your way, no matter what issues you deal with, if you really think about life and think real hard, you can think of something good and you'll fly. Like Peter Pan says, think of a wonderful thought. Any happy little thought. And I'm telling you, it'll send your mouth soaring and it'll turn into a smile.
Yes, that's beautiful. Mindset is everything.
Everything.
Like literally, it's so true. And I'm learning that, in my old age, I'm learning that too. It's all about your mindset.
Hey, wait a
So
minute. We the same age. We are not old. Don't even put that
we're
in
seasoned, we're a little seasoned. I got my first gray hair, so now I'm like living in my truth.
there. Right? Right? But it's good. We are so blessed to get older. We are so blessed.
Yes, every day is a gift. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure.
Hmm. Hmm.
So thank you again so much, RJ. It's been
Yeah.
beautiful. I loved it. I laughed, I cried, I clutched my pearls, I got chills. It's my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you again for the invitation. Thank you for all you do. I cannot wait till we link up in person. I'm just gonna run and give my sister a big hug, and we just gonna have the time
Yes,
of our life.
it's gonna be beautiful. And if people want to find you and hear more of your parking lot musicals and learn more about your story, where can they find you?
You can find me at on IG, the adventurous RJs. Well, it's the underscore adventurous underscore RJAY. And Instagram, you can look me up at the adventurous RJ or this is how we Disney. And yeah, you can find me there. And if you're interested and you want to hear some gospel music, you you can find me under Judah Praise, available on all digital platforms. And I'm just going to keep plugging away here. If you want to make your Christmas holiday season merry, you can find me on a collaboration I did with Mr. Cheesy Pap. There is no more festive place to be. Y'all know Christmas is coming up. And if you're looking for a Disney bop, Google that song. Available on all media platforms. And one
Awesome.
more thing I wanted to say before we get off here. I'm excited to announce, most of you who follow me, some of you don't, I am going to be releasing a full Disney inspired album of what it's like to be at Disney parks starting the end of this year. I am so excited and I cannot wait for you guys to go on this journey through me. This is going to be the soundtrack that you have been waiting for, the expression that you feel when you're walking down Main Street or waiting in line or eating a Dole Whip. That is coming soon. And I'm going to drop it like lemonade with a music video for every song. I can't wait for you guys to see that.
Okay then. Okay, y'all heard it here first. Exclusive. Oh, let me find out. I'm dropping exclusives now. What?
Afro Pixie Dust got the exclusive.
Yes,
You
you
know what?
heard it
If
here.
you want, June, maybe a treat just for y'all listening today. I will give you a snippet of one of my club bangers. Close it out, and you can play for the people. You can play for it. If you won't, just a snippet. I'll let that be your decision.
That would be perfect. I love that. Love that.
Okay.
Well, thank you again, RJ. I can't say this enough. This has been an incredible story to hear. I'm so happy that you are with us, and I'm so happy that you were able to tell us your story. So many people, and I cannot wait to see you.
I'm gonna be like my sister. You know how on what's that movie? What's that movie with Whoopi Goldberg that I can't?
Oh,
The Color Purple.
Color Purple.
You and I will never.
Yes, it's gonna be everything. So I cannot wait for that.
Yes.
But thank you again, and until I see you in the park.
See you real soon.
You've just heard my conversation with RJ. I know. If you're dealing with something right now, whether it's an obstacle, a setback, or something that's just stressing you out, remember to try to stay positive because your breakthrough is coming. Your mindset is truly everything, and if RJ isn't a testament to that, I don't know what is. I'm so grateful that RJ is still with us, blessing lives and being that positive influence. And be sure to check out his stories to get a dose of his daily positivity. The POC-owned small business for this episode is The Fashion Junkie. It is an Etsy shop that is owned by Ashley Shorter Klaus that specializes in blinged out Disney-inspired merch and more. Check out her stuff at etsy.com/shop/thefashionjunkie. And like I said earlier in this episode, the D23 Expo is just a few days away. So if you'll be in the Anaheim area, be sure to come through to the first official meetup. It's not like you have reservations to go to anything else that afternoon anyway. So come through, y'all. The D23 meetup will be this Friday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. at the House of Blues in Anaheim. I know that y'all will definitely need to fuel up and amp yourselves up in preparation for the camping out and the queuing up on Saturday. If you are planning to go, head over to my website, afrosandpixiedust.com/events, and RSVP so I know that you're coming, so I can make sure I have enough swag for everybody. And as always, if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast with all of your friends. And also be sure to join the Afros and Pixie Dust Facebook group so we can chat more about Disney miracles. So until next time, never stop deep conditioning or pursuing your happiness. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the premiere of Close It Out by the incredible, miraculous, spectacular, adventurous RJ Taylor.
Y'all ready? Yeah. We gon' close it out. We gon' close it out. We gon' close it out.
I never knew it was possible to have so much fun. we've just begun. Gonna keep dancing till we're done. It's nothing short of amazing, yes there is no doubt. Let's scream and shout, tonight we're gonna close it out. Tonight's the night, let's have some fun. This is how we Disney, this is how we Disney. So grab your ears, come on and join the fun. Tonight we're gonna close it out. Tonight we're gonna close it out. It's your boy RJ and it's plain to see. Can't no other Disney vlog can do it quite like me. I can act, I can write, I can dance, I can sing. And I'm best with a mouse and a gun snow queen. Spinning each day, just living the dream. If this the magic kingdom, there cannot be his king. Who needs a glass slipper cause I got a ring? Don't wake me up, Prince Charming, cause I'm living the dream. So let's live it up, let's have some fun. The cherries are fresh and the night is young. Let's get on Space Mountain, scream and shout. Throw your hands up if you wanna close it out. Tonight's the night, let's have some fun. This is how we Disney. This is how we Disney. So grab your ears, come on and join the fun. This is how we Disney. This is how we Disney. The sun is down, the lights are on. This is how we Disney. Tonight we're gonna close it out. So grab your friends before the popcorn's gone. Tonight we're gonna close it out. Tonight we're gonna close it out. It all starts when the sun goes down. Got my family and my friends around. Tonight's your night, so let's live it up. We'll dance and party till the sun comes up. We'll ride alright, so we had enough. Tonight's your night, so let's live it up. We'll dance and party till the sun comes up. We'll ride alright, so we had enough. Tonight we're gonna close it out. Yeah. Close it Close it out. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Tonight we're gonna close it out. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Tonight we're gonna close it out.